Alrighty, Battle City. And we have got Strings taking on Arcana. We're going to go from Strings' perspective to begin with. And in this tournament so far, Strings has been the worst performer. His deck out of all of them is probably the weakest. Are we having switch? Yeah, flip it. Yeah, just open it and reopen the game again. Hold on, we're just having, there we go. I don't know, there's this weird glitch with one of the Switch consoles, because it doesn't do it if we're using the other one around. Sometimes we go to set up a game and it just says, game cannot be found. And it's strange, because if we set up the game from the other account, it never happens, and I don't know why, but just exit out and then exit back in and it's fine. Anyway, let's begin. Revival Jam is played, and along with Negate Attack. And a 7 Tools of the Bandit. So out of all the decks that have been created for Battle City, we've followed Strings one fairly close to his anime deck, and out of all of them, Strings has performed the worst so far. His deck is extremely weak, and his only saving grace is that he does have a Slifer the Sky Dragon, but he has a 1 in 40 chance to get hold of it on his first turn, and even if he gets hold of it, it's difficult for him to summon it. As Arcana played Pitch Black Power Stone, Strings will block that with 7 Tools of the Bandit. He does have Wormdrake and Humanoid Slime. If he gets hold of a Polymerization, he might be able to summon Humanoid Wormdrake. As Behegan is played, it's a 1350. Revival Jam attacks, and it is Sagi the Dark Clown. Added to Seeker's deck as a filler, and also really does suit the theme of his deck as well. And Dark Magic Veil is played. Pay 1000 life points, special summon a Dark Spellcaster. And straight off the bat for Strings, or almost straight off the bat, we have seen a Dark Magician played. And now Seeker is in a lot of trouble. He does have a Negate Attack, he does activate it. So he'll be able to get his monsters to defense mode at least. Even Humanoid Wormdrake now won't help him. There's Granadora. Alright, both these monsters switch to defense. And Wormdrake and Humanoid Slime, you kind of want to keep both of them because they're your fusion materials for your hardest hitting monster. Granadora will give you 1000 life points, but it will lose 2000 when it's destroyed. So Strings is going to take a bit of life point damage, however, he does get rid of Sagi the Dark Clown, which really was the least threatening monster, one of the least threatening monsters in Seeker's deck. Sorry, Arcana, not Seeker. As Arcana is giving it some thought. And no, he's gone straight to his battle phase, hasn't played anything else down. So 600 off Strings plus another 2000 damage now from the effect of Granadora. Strings is down to 5400 and Arcana sitting tight at 7000. There's a Keto, so that'll give him 1000 back. However, Strings may have no choice, and he does. He has to try and keep his defense up until he can try and find a way out of this attacking front from Arcana. So yes, if you were watching the last duel, yes, you would know that I was watching the Yugioh anime earlier on. There's Legion the Fiend Jester. That will be able to destroy one of those defenses that are face up as well. So Strings in trouble. So I am very keen to get to the Battle City section of the anime again. I've seen Duelist Kingdom many times. Battle City I've seen a few times. When it goes past Battle City, I'm less familiar. I know there was a sort of like a tournament where it had the whole darts era, and then Valon and Raphael and all them, and I've only seen the last part of it, like where Bakura tries to take over the world and all that. I've only ever seen that once. The final duel between Yugi and the Pharaoh, I've only seen that duel once. I don't actually remember what happens in it. Alright, Jam Breeding Machine is played, and that is a terrible card, but I guess Seeker has to try something. Puts Revival Jam in attack mode, and gets rid of Legion the Fiend Jester, which does have a good effect as well. But Strings has to try something. That can summon a Dark Magician, or I can get a Dark Magician to his hand, which he doesn't go with. He went with Neo the Magic Swordsman, which is a 1700. It's a good hitting card, Neo the Magic Swordsman as well. Alright, Seeker went with a face down spell or trap, and there is Neo the Magic Swordsman. Alright, Dark Magician destroys Revival Jam. Revival Jam could come back. Wait, can it? Because that Jam Revival Machine thing is on the field. Doesn't that stop all summoning? I think it did. Yes, so Strings paid 1,000 life points. Ah, yeah, there it is. The effect went to activate, but yes, so Strings threw away 1,000 life points for nothing. Dude, Jam Breeding Machine is a terrible card. You can't summon, you can only set monsters, and you get these slime tokens which are put all in attack mode. If the tokens were put in defense mode, it would be a decent card, but because they're all in attack mode, it makes it extremely difficult. You can tribute the tokens, but at 500 attack, they're just sitting target. Strings played it because he had nothing else to play. And he is getting absolutely destroyed. That Jam Breeding Machine card sucks. You have to have it at the exact right time. Oh, there's Nightmare Steel Cage. But yes, Slime Token, or the whole Jam Breeding Machine, it just isn't that good of a... Ah, Magic Jammer. Nightmare Steel Cage has been negated, and Strings is going to lose on the next turn. I truly reckon that Strings will not win a single match. His deck is terrible. And there is Magician's Souls. And Arcana's activated its effect, so send up to 2 spell and traps. Well, one of them was Trap Hole that he threw away. To draw 2 cards. And there's Magical Dimension. Target 1 monster you control, tribute that, then special summon 1 spellcaster monster from your hand, and it is another Dark Magician. Completely unnecessary, but no, it's just fun to watch Strings get absolutely obliterated. And there goes that token, and there is now 6,700 points worth of attack. And just for good measure, there's Dark Magic attack. Strings field and hand is completely void. So this is one of the most absolutely hammering losses you can give to an opponent when you've destroyed their whole hand and their field. Arcana picks up the win, and we'll set them up again, and we will have a match too. But yes, I truly believe that Strings likely will not win a single match, the whole series. So, but he does still get his chance to play. Speaking of the Battle City season, yes, I will like to do a series where I have the big 5, create decks for them, along with Rebecca Hawkins and maybe a deck made for Duke Devlin as well. I'm trying to get through the Duelist Kingdom season first, which that series is ahead of this one, so there will be a moment there where we can get rid of a few of those decks. Tristan and Mokuba's probably will go first, and then I'll have some more dueling slots. As on this game you can have up to 32, and right now all 32 of mine are in use. And yeah, what I'll do, I reckon I'll do a series where Rebecca Hawkins, like, it'll be titled, Could Rebecca Hawkins Win the Duelist Kingdom tournament? And we'll have her play against everybody in order of the anime. So she'll start off against... she could have a match against Kaiba first, I guess. Anyway, there's Change Slime. But yeah, she would go through Weevil, then she'd battle Mako. Then she would battle Mai. As Pitch Black Power Stone is activated. Skilled Dark Magician is on the field as well. That can also be used as a special summoning tool for the Dark Magician. As Granadora is summoned, 1900. And Strings opens up the trap hole. That's how Magic... Is that one of Magic's secrets? Revealing a trap hole where the... You know what the funny thing is about Magic that you see on stage? Is that the actual magician himself is the one doing the least amount of work. It's usually the assistants and the people wheeling out the props that are doing the actual magic. The magician on stage is usually there just to distract your eyes from looking at what they are actually doing. Alright, Pitch Black Power Stone was activated. Apprentice Magician can put another spell counter on it as well. So Strings now, if he activates a spell card, he will give Skilled Dark Magician its third spell counter. As 2,300 points are being taken off Strings, and already he is down to 4,700, and Arcana is just looking really, really nice. I was thinking about something. As we see, Arcana has drawn Opticlops. If you read that card's description, it says it is the servant of Dark Ruler Hades. It's also a thing. I am thinking about taking Opticlops out of Arcana's deck and putting it into Bakura's deck. So I think that would be more fitting. And I might replace Opticlops with Rogue Doll, because Rogue Doll kind of fits Arcana's kind of mystique as well. When I was creating the deck, and I was looking at some stuff on Google, one of the recommended cards for the build was Opticlops. I don't know why, so I was like, whatever, it can go in there as a filler, but I think Rogue Doll, because Arcana doesn't actually have a Rogue Doll in his deck, so I reckon after this match, I might actually make that edit. I'll put Opticlops into Bakura's deck, and I'll put Rogue Doll into Seekers, and just take out one of their... What would I take out of Bakura's deck? Oh, I'll make a call on it as I'll look through his deck after this, but I think Opticlops would be a good addition to Bakura's deck, so yes, I might make a very slight alteration to them. As we see Behegan again is destroyed. Dude, Strings is getting absolutely smacked out here. And so he should. His deck is terrible. In the anime, it was really good. And if you can actually set up that strategy, it's actually not bad to duel with as well. However, the thing is, getting all those perfect cards in the perfect order is the chances of actually pulling that off are so low. As we see Revival Jam come back to the field, a Revival Jam deck can be very good, but there just isn't Strings' deck, it's so hard to draw all those cards together to make the best use out of them all. As we see Magician's Robe come to the field. And Strings literally will lose on the next turn. Like, we're only at the turn 7. And Ectoplasma. As Magician's Robe flips up. It can be used to get some Dark Magicians to the field, I think. Anyway, Arcana ignores it. He just goes for the straight up Tribute. Opticlops and Magician's Robe. As we see Arcana's second Dark Magician come to the field. And this one's done. Strings has been absolutely slaughtered out here. Down goes Ectoplasma just for the hell of it. And Strings flips up a Magic Jammer. That was his face down. Ectoplasma is negated, but that will do it. We are going to see Arcana pick up a relatively easy win against the struggling Strings. And again, his hand is empty and his field is empty as well. So Strings he's got absolutely no answer for Arcana. They are worlds apart. Arcana picks up the win. Strings still winless in the tournament. However, I thought Mokuba would go winless in Duelist Kingdom, and he did actually manage to pick up a win here and there, so you never know. Arcana defeats Strings, so we are going on to a new round. It will be round 5 starting tomorrow, and Yugi is going to take on Rex Raptor, and that could be an interesting match. I get the feeling they might have played in the preseason cup. Joey is going to play Seeker. We did see an anime duel between them. There's Odeon and Kaiba. That sounds good already. Mako and Mai. That could be very interesting as well. Weevil and Esperoba. Ishizu against Loomis and Umbra. Arcana against Bakura. The duel of the confused evils. And Strings against Marek. So the two of the worst decks that we've seen so far, going head to head. Although I think Marek did he beat Ishizu in the last? Yes, he did actually. So you never know with Marek's deck. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this produced. Thanks everyone for tuning in and leaving your comments as well. We are starting a new week. It is Monday here in Australia, depending where you are in the world. We are flipping on to Tuesday as I upload these at midnight. So somewhere in the world, it'll be Monday and Tuesday. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, take care, farewell.